Hello everyone. So I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but here is how you should be spending these two classes today, the last two classes before your test on Friday. And so I've prepared this document for you. You find it on the homework page. There's a link to the document, and I also put it on a wiki page, which is also on the homework page. You can link to it there. So I want you to make teams of 4, not 3, but 4. Now I know that in a class of 18, if everybody's there will be 2 people left over, and so perhaps 2 people can decide who would like to work in a team of 2 as opposed to in a team of 4. So make your teams of 4, and then each team will subdivide then into 2 smaller teams. You're going to be preparing information and data and support for evidence using your Google Docs and the material on the wiki that is going to support a pro or con side of the following statements. And so I've given you an example here. So consider the following statement. In any society, the collective definition of normal is essential for the individual's self-understanding. So obviously now what you're debating here is what the idea of normal is, the criteria that go into trying to attempt to arrive at a definition of normal versus abnormal. You are going to be referring to the one of the first classes in term 4 where we looked at normal and abnormal psychology, who benefits from labels of normal, and all the rest of those ideas that we looked at. And so when you look at that statement as a team of 4, among yourselves decide who's going to argue for and who's going to argue against, because each one of the 4 statements that I've given you here have got 2 sides. So decide among yourselves who's going to do the pro, who's going to do the con, and then jump right into it using your Google Docs and, as I said, the wiki. And please try to remain within those 2 resources, because otherwise you're going to be spending too much time to decipher what's appropriate and what's not. So you've already got the material that you need. Go back to your notes, and that's the whole point of this exercise, is to go back to your notes, to review what you have, to see that maybe you need to get support for your notes because maybe there's information missing, and so you might want to do that between now and Friday. And so spend no longer than 15 minutes getting your arguments together. Then the team comes back and one side presents their case for or against, and the other side presents their case, and say each side will have 2 to 3 minutes maximum to present their case. The reason that you're doing this is that I think that this is the best way to go through that pile of material that we have from term 4, rather than just me preparing a study guide with 52 questions and you going through all of the questions. This way you're going to have to go back to each one of the lessons and look at the overview of the information, and then decide what's really important for my presenting the for side or the against side. And so here are your 4 statements. These 4 statements and both of their pro and con side cover almost everything, the major points, the most important points that we have looked at in term 4. That's pretty comprehensive here. And so if you do this activity with dedication and gusto and intent on reviewing what it is that we saw, you should be relatively well prepared for your test on Friday, and you might even have fun while you're doing it. And so that should take you a period and say a half maximum. In the last part of the second period today, and hopefully you'll start say at 2:15 or 2:20, and so don't wait to 2:30. Try to get this done earlier. Then you'll be ready to do your formative quiz on Socrative or Socrative. And so you remember this this site. I have the instructions here for you. So you go to m.socrative.com, and remember you're entering as a student, and that's my room number right down there, 8637. And by 2:15 I will have on my end gone into the quiz that I've prepared for you and opened it up, and it will be set as a student paced quiz, which means that you can go through the quiz at your own pace and take as long to think about the questions as you need. Once you've answered a question, you can't go back and revisit the previous question. So really take the time to think about the options, and you will have until 3 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock I'll close the quiz. And Friday morning in the first period, and please don't be late, we will go through our answers, and we will clear up any sort of confusion and patch the holes and make sure that we've done our revision of that quiz before we go into our test, which will be in second period. And I will be checking in on your work throughout periods 6 and 7, because I expect that, as I've said in this document, that this work that you're doing today will go onto your Google Docs notes. And so I will be able to go to every person's document and see what it is that you're working on in period 6 and period 7. Obviously I won't be able to see you present your cases to one another, but I will be in and out of those documents. And so if you see me pop into your document when you're in there and you want to just open up that chat function and say, hi, how you doing, that would be fun. So have a productive class, and I will see you guys on Friday morning.